If we are to believe all of the stories that we've been told throughout our childhood about what lies beyond our physical world, then we humans actually live in a place where anything is possible. In fact, it is believed by many that our existence here on Earth is nothing more than an infinitesimal speck in the grand scheme of things. But even if we were to ignore all of the evidence for life elsewhere in the cosmos, we still have the reality of our own physical world to contend with. Our world is filled with many mysteries that continue to baffle scientists and researchers to this day, and some of them can be found in the most unexpected places. One of these mysteries surrounds something that nearly every single one of us carries around with us everywhere we go, yet few people ever stop to think about its true purpose. It's something that was once considered to be an extremely important part of the human body, but over time it has started to serve only a minor function. We're talking about the belly button. That small little divot located on the stomach that serves no real purpose other than to remind us that we used to be attached to our mothers while we were still rowing inside the womb. For a long time, this strange bodily feature has been the subject of much confusion, especially since each individual belly button is completely unique. You can look at 1,000 different people's belly buttons, and you won't find two that look exactly alike. But why is this? And is there a secret reason why we all have belly buttons? In order to answer this question, we need to first take a look back through time and discover what the belly button actually is. You see, when you're still developing inside your mother's womb before you're born, your body needs nourishment in order to survive. After all, you're essentially just a tiny little baby floating in a fluid-filled sack. And it would be pretty hard to sustain yourself using nothing but the energy stored up inside your own baby body. Luckily, your mother is there to provide you with all of the sustenance that you need to keep growing. The way that she does this is by giving you everything you need through her belly. More specifically, it's done through an umbilical cord, a structure that connects you directly to your mother's bloodstream. This allows you to share her circulatory system so that you can get access to oxygen and nutrients like protein and fats. All of these things allow you to grow from a tiny fetus into a fully developed baby boy or girl. But after you're born, there's absolutely no use for this umbilical cord. It doesn't do anything for you. So your body starts to automatically break it down and reabsorb its components. This means that the vessels carrying blood to and from your mother's circulatory system start to close off, and the cord itself begins to shrink and dry out until it is basically just a small piece of useless skin hanging from your stomach. Over time, this leftover piece of skin dries out and falls off, leaving behind a small divot that will remain for the rest of your life. The reason why everyone has a belly button is because everyone was once a fetus that needed to be nourished by their mother. Once the umbilical cord dries up and falls off, it leaves behind this permanent scar on your stomach that acts as a reminder of the days when you were totally dependent on someone else to stay alive. While this may seem like a pretty straightforward answer, there are still a lot of questions that come along with it. For example, if the belly button is simply just a shriveled up piece of skin, why does it stick out from our stomachs? Or why do some people have round belly buttons while others have narrow ones? Well, it turns out that the shape of your belly button has a lot more to do with your genetics than you might think. When you were still growing inside your mother's womb, your stomach was constantly expanding in order to make room for all of your new organs. At a certain point, though, your stomach could expand no further and your intestines started to push up against the walls of your abdomen. These areas where your intestines made contact with your stomach eventually became weak points that were more likely to develop into bulging belly buttons. As you get older, the amount of fat that is stored around your belly button also plays a major role in how pronounced it can become. The reason why some people have rounder or more protruding belly buttons than others comes down to simple weight gain. If you have a high amount of body fat, it's very likely that some of it will be stored around your belly button. This extra fat can cause your belly button to protrude outwards, which can sometimes be quite uncomfortable. So while it is true that everyone has a belly button, because we all used to be babies that were connected to our mothers via an umbilical cord, the exact shape of your belly button is determined by a number of different factors. Some of these factors include your genetic makeup, the amount of body fat you have, and even the strength of the muscles surrounding your abdomen. There are also a few medical conditions that can affect the appearance of your belly button. For example, some people have what's known as a ventral hernia, which is when fat or part of the person's intestine pushes through a weak spot in the abdominal wall. This causes a bulge that can appear anywhere on the stomach, including the belly button. People who suffer from ventral hernias often experience pain when lifting heavy objects or exercising. Another condition that can affect the appearance of your belly button is gastroschisis. This is a rare birth defect that occurs when the abdominal wall doesn't close properly during fetal development. As a result, the intestines and other internal organs are exposed to the outside world. While this condition can be repaired surgically, it can also cause the belly button to bulge outwards. And if you thought that was weird, we haven't even mentioned the rarest form of this condition, known as omphalocele. Unlike gastroschisis, which leaves the belly button looking normal, omphalocele causes the belly button to bulge inwards instead. This is because the intestines and other abdominal organs actually push through the belly button and gather in the space between the abdominal wall and the intestines. This can cause the belly button to look like a large navel ring, and it can even make it feel like there is a hole in your stomach. Luckily, omphalocele is also quite easy to repair, especially when it's done early in life. But it's definitely something that can cause a person some distress if left untreated. It seems that the humble belly button can tell us a lot about the overall health of our bodies. But there's still something strange about them that we can't quite put our finger on. Perhaps it is the fact that each one is completely unique and there are billions of people on the planet with unique belly buttons. Maybe it is because they've been with us since the beginning of time, and yet we still don't know for sure exactly how they came to be. Whatever the case may be, our fascination with the belly button shows no signs of disappearing anytime soon. In fact, it has become such a popular topic that there is even a community of people out there who enjoy piercing their belly buttons as a form of body modification. Of course, this is a much more extreme way of showing your affection for this strange part of your body, but it's not unheard of for people to become obsessed with their belly buttons. In fact, there are even cases of people who have a psychological condition known as omphalophilia, which is an obsession with the belly button. These people may feel a strong urge to touch, kiss, or lick their own belly buttons. And they may even become upset if they're separated from their own body parts for too long. Some people go as far as to say that the belly button is a source of sexual pleasure. There are even products available online that are designed to stimulate the nerves around the belly button, which can cause some people to experience sexual arousal. Of course, this isn't everyone's cup of tea, but it is certainly interesting to note that the belly button is capable of causing such reactions in some people. If you're one of those people who have a particular fondness for their belly button, then we say go for it. After all, it's your body and you can do whatever you want with it. Just be careful if you decide to pierce it, because infections around the belly button can be painful and difficult to treat. Whether you love them, hate them, or just couldn't care less about them, the fact remains that belly buttons are a part of the human experience. They are a reminder of our time in the womb and a connection to all of the other people who have ever existed on this planet. So the next time you catch yourself staring at your own belly button, don't feel bad. You're just appreciating one of the many mysteries of the human body. Now watch what happens to your body after you die, or check out unexplained medical symptoms that have a terrifying secret cause.